Also presenting at the Holistic Horse Affair is Wendy Murdoch of the Murdoch Method. Welcome, Wendy.
Hi, thanks for having me on your show.
Well, I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule to meet with us. I know you're traveling all over the country. Can you share with a few people who don't know you what it is that you do?
Oh, sure. Basically, what I do is help riders find the best position for their body on the horse. So the one thing we cannot avoid is gravity. And if we're sitting in a good spot, gravity's working for us. But if we're sitting a little off to one side or a little bit twisted, then gravity's acting against us, and that's affecting our horse and our horse's performance. So I help people find out how to use their body more effectively, where the center of the horse is, where they need to be in order to give the simplest and clearest aids possible so that the horse can do what they want.
So does it matter if someone is an English rider, dressage rider, Western rider? Does the discipline matter in your method?
Well, gravity is not discipline specific. So I work with all riders in all disciplines, from polo to show jumping to reining to cow work, dressage. I work with all disciplines because basically we all have a skeleton and we all have a nervous system, and so does the horse, and there's an efficient way to use our body in gravity and an inefficient way. And often we don't realize that it's inefficient. We don't realize that we're, tensing somewhere, holding our breath. But the horse feels absolutely everything we do. So the more we can become aware of what we're doing and how we use our body and how it affects our horse, then the more successful we can be in terms of communicating what we want the horse to do, and the horse can be successful because he can understand what we want and respond to our aids.
It sounds like your method really could help someone change their riding completely, especially on things they're not aware of.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's like, I get a lot of riders that are already competing and they're doing well. And it's not like what they're doing is wrong. It's just that there may be something that they're not aware of, that a way they tighten their shoulder or use their back, that if we just make little changes, and sometimes it's a tiny little change, but it has a huge impact on the overall performance. So that, if you don't know where your hip joints are, then they might not be moving as fluidly as you'd like. And so one of the big things I do is just teach people where their hip joints are. And you'd be surprised at how many people, including physical therapists and therapeutic riding instructors, don't know. Because we have this image of, okay, our hips are where I put my hands around my belt area, because that's our socially accepted idea. But structurally, the hip joint is a very specific location. It's a ball and socket joint, and that has to be movable. It's the closest joint to the horse. And if we start to tense in our hip joints, the horse immediately feels that and is restricted in what he can do in response to our body. So by making people more aware of just simple things like that, and it doesn't take long. I mean, I've seen changes in as little as 5 minutes. The horse goes, oh, thank you very much, and, drops his neck, moves more fluidly, can turn where the rider wants the horse to go, and then everybody wins.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. Now, you're doing a special presentation on Friday, and then your demos on Saturday and Sunday. Is that correct?
Yeah. On Friday, we have what's called an effortless rider class, and in that class, we'll be working without horses, unmounted, and learning more our body functions, better, more efficient ways to use the body. And what you have to realize is that as soon as you're on the horse, the system's more complex. You have the horse's body, you have, he gets distracted, or he sees something, or he gets tense because you do something. And sometimes it's hard to separate what's the rider and what's the horse. So the effortless rider class is geared toward kind of separating the two beings out for a moment so that riders can really focus on themselves, learn more about how they function, more efficient ways, help them with things like if they have back pain or shoulder pain, or they, trying to figure out how to turn, the details of things. And then they can have the time to process that information, understand it, without worrying about how the horse is reacting or if there's a distraction in the area. When we put them back on the horse, they've got this information, they've got this knowledge, and they can start to employ it. So it just makes it all work so much better because it's just giving the rider the chance to sort some things out for themselves. And then when you put them back on the horse, they know what I'm asking them to do. They understand more about how to use themselves, and it just makes it easier. So Friday is going to be like the public can come and participate in the Effortless Rider class. And then Saturday and Sunday, it'll be demonstrations. I'll have, I believe, 2 demo riders. I did last year. And it'll be a live setting, people I've never seen before, so that, I haven't set them up. And we'll find out what they're doing and how their horse is responding to them. And then I'll just go through the process that I would at a regular clinic, which is, working with the rider. I put my hands on and I physically show them what to do. Because riding is so much feeling. And often riding is taught by words. You tell the student what you want them to do. And by modeling, you either ride their horse or you demonstrate with your own body. But riding is feeling. And so I put my hands on the riders. I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner, which is I'm trained in a method of working with people to show them better function. And I can give them that input so that they have a feeling to associate with the idea. And that way they can search for that feeling, and then the horse, of course, responds, and then they go, oh, that's what I'm looking for. But just to tell them sometimes isn't so effective because they'll do their habitual pattern, the things they're not aware of that are getting in the way, and they try to do the best they can. I never find that a student is not trying to do the best they can, but sometimes they just don't have the awareness or the understanding or the function to do what they want. So I use my hands, I give them clear explanations. I have a little skeleton that I bring in. He's really helpful because then we can see inside of our skin and see the structure and understand the structure and how it functions. And that's really the key because that's what's supporting us in gravity. It always goes back to gravity.
So for our listeners who would like to learn more about this before they get to the Holistic Horse Affair, do you have a website they could check out?
Yeah. The website is murdochmethod.com. That's MURDOCHMETHOD.com. And I actually have video up there from last year's Holistic Horse Affair working with Bob and his daughter. They were my 2 demo riders, and I've had lots of good feedback about that video in terms of people get a much better understanding of what I'm about after watching it. So I think that would be a great thing for people to do is to go check out my website. And I also have a lot of articles up there. It's all free content. I feel it's really important to have stuff available for anyone that's interested. And there's a ton of articles up there, little how-tos and explanations. And yeah, it'd be great if they checked that out before they came to the expo.
Okay, well, I'm going to go check that out myself right now, and I'm so looking forward to meeting you in October. I appreciate you taking the time today to let us know what you're going to be doing, and we will see you in a couple months.
Great. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.